baby.
We in here, yeah, we in here, 'cause we been.
Y'all better get comfortable with saying black.
We in here, yeah, we in here, 'cause
Black versus the Board of Education.
Cause we can't get rid of us now. We in here, yeah, we in here. Cause we can't get rid of us now. And you know that we don't ever go with cause we been here.
That's why we are indeed a whole mood.
That's it.
Welcome to another Monday of Black versus the Board of Education. Hello, hello, hello. My name is Miss Laureen, and I welcome you into this space. Don't trip. I know I probably sound like I got a frog in my voice, but that's why I stayed away from my co-anchors, just so I don't get them sick and they don't catch this nasty bug that's going around. So with that being said, today we are talking about advocacy or overreach. Some families advocate loudly, others trust the system. Some educators push back, others comply. And this episode is a candid, unscripted conversation about what happens when not everyone in the room believes advocacy is necessary or effective. And, you know, I always have to come with a real life example. So last week I had the displeasure of hearing about parents going to Sac City Unified for an extension to suspension meeting, had no idea what was going on, and she was mishandled in the most disgusting way. And they shut the meeting down and they put that 11-year-old up for expulsion because they didn't want to deal with mom. It's ridiculous. And so with that, I'm going to frame the conversation. We're not asking why parents go too far. We're asking why systems react so strongly when parents don't back down. Or if advocacy is framed as overreach, then silence must be the goal. And, you know, we don't do silence over here.
Right.
So with that, I want my co-hosts. Yeah, that's the word. See, my brain is foggy, y'all. I want them to introduce themselves and we will jump right into the discussion. So I'm going to start with my baby girl who is not in the studio just like me. And then we'll go to the in-studio guests and we go watch Mr. Fox get down on them grapes because they look really, really good. So go ahead, Melissa.
Hi, everyone. My name is Melissa, and I'm excited to be here today.
We're excited to have you, and that is a really great color on you. I just want
It's new. I like it so much. Thank you.
Yes. And so we'll pop it into the studio. Let's start with the ladies because ladies first, and we like to make sure our queens go first. So go ahead.
Hello, everybody. I'm Coco, the Associate Director of SAYS and a poet in the community.
And I'm Patrice Hill, Director of SAYS, Sacramento Area Youth Speaks, also a poet, educator, and a mother, and somebody that's had to advocate for their child in school since kindergarten.
I know that's right. No. Over to the gentleman.
I am Mr. Chastain. Happy to be here. Ready to see what we got going on.
That red is popping off that hat. I just had to say that.
That thing.
And rounding us out for the day.
The red fox.
The red fox.
Come on.
I'm like, but you have on all black.
And we in here.
So if advocating for your child makes you the problem, what does that say about the system? Melissa?
It means that the system is looking at its surface level and they're seeing that the problem isn't advocacy, but to them that's a problem because you're not complying, you aren't being quiet, you're not being complacent. So you speaking up and speaking out about something is an issue to them, but that just means they're looking at its surface level and they don't actually care about the root of the issue because you wouldn't just be trying to advocate for a child for no reason. So that means they're not looking deeper to see what the actual issue is that needs to be brought to light, that needs to be resolved. They're trying to sweep it under the rug because they don't actually care.
So is parent overreach real or is it just code for parents who won't stay silent? Mr. Fox?
Parent overreach.
Is that a thing? Do you think
what
it's
is the definition of
it? Right.
Define it for me and
basically the parents are doing too much. Is that a thing?
They talking.
I can't see how a parent can be doing too much when they just asking questions about their child.
We've been in several meetings where, you know, it could be deemed that parents are doing too much. I'm thinking of one that we had last week.
Yeah, but the same institution that said that the parents is doing too much is the same institution that be wanting parents to notify them 24 to 48 hours before they even get there. I don't know how a parent is doing too much to want to know about a child that lives with them every day.
Coco, is it parent overreach real?
I mean, for the system saying parent overreach, I guess if they're going to say that a parent, but I'm like Fox. I don't believe that for a parent, overreach is not real. You should be there showing up for your kid, advocating for your kids, seeing what's happening at the schools. And that's anything, schools, sports, whatever you have your kids in, you're here to protect and guide your kids until they're able to walk on their own feet. And so, no, for the parent, overreach is not real, but I see what you're saying, that they done created a term that can deem you as overreach or criminalize you for it or whatever this term is doing for their side. But for me, no, parents should be showing up, advocating for their baby no matter what, in all spaces, until they can advocate for themselves.
Right.
Do you think it's appropriate to have our children in these schools advocating for themselves against adults who know more and maybe weaponize policies? Patrice?
Listen, y'all. No, absolutely. Children have to learn how to advocate for themselves. It has to be taught. And the system schools our children to be quiet, listen to what the teacher has to say, listen to what the principal has to say, and go about business as usual. You have to teach your child how to advocate for themselves. And that starts with you advocating for them.
Right.
You know, I'm a fan of putting everything in writing, especially when it comes to these teachers and these administrators in these schools. I have taught my child how to email, how to CC me when it's appropriate. I have taught my child that if you stay silent, then nothing happened. Like if it's not in black and white, it didn't happen. So we have to be proponents of teaching our children how to advocate for themselves. And then when they need us to step in, we have to step in. Now I'm going to step in for my child from the gate. That's how my child knows how to advocate for themselves. But sometimes now I can step back, because now she knows to put it in writing, to CC mommy if you need to take it up, CC the principal, email the principal directly, CC the teacher. Like we have to be very, very intentional on how we teach our children to advocate for themselves. And that takes confidence to advocate for yourself inside of a educational institution. Right. If your child is quiet, if they're timid, if they're afraid of the teacher, they might not say anything, and then they might not tell you if you know. And then a lot of times parents are afraid to advocate for their children. They don't want to, cause a fuss or be too loud. But then you got a parent like me that will organize a whole protest if we need to. You remember I hit you, sis. Like we don't have to go up to this school because this teacher is playing with my baby. But you know what I mean? I have the resources and the connections. Not all parents have that. So we have to be mindful of that as well.
Right.
Do you think that parents are reactionary a lot of times, and that's how they get dubbed that they're doing too much, Daniel? Do you think that they're too reactionary?
Well, there's you can't define that though. When it comes to that child, when it comes to that baby, depending on what severity of what the issue is, right? They're going to react. People are going to react how they're reacting, how they were taught to react in certain situations. And it's just like she was saying, right? That we don't know. We're not knowing. So how can I say that it is or isn't over or not? Right. It depends on how you feel about your child and what is being done to that child. And I think that parents have a right to react when their child brings them an issue. I think they have a right to react, but not just react, to actually respond and respond in a healthy manner. That it can be advocated and done. It can be talked about, communicated, and moved forward. But we don't have the information that as parents or as a community that we need to know what we can and cannot do, or how we can and cannot push for our babies in these schools, because the system is their system.
Right. Can I just add that a lot of times I don't see our parents at back to school nights, at open houses where you
Or
have
at the school board meetings,
or
but
at the
I
school.
digress.
Come on now, don't even start with that because we know it be you. And I don't even be at the school board meetings, but BYLP be up in there. But right, sis, like if we can't even get to the school for open house or back to school night, those are opportunities to meet our children's teachers and be proactive in our relationships with them, so they know like you gonna see me. Those are opportunities that we have to be proactive. A lot of times they deem parents to be reactive because we're responding to like individual instances where our children have been disrespected or I have to step in. We have a lot of opportunities to be proactive and let teachers know, listen, hi, I'm here. I'm Aaliyah's mom. You're gonna see me at every single event, every single game, every single open house, I'm gonna be here. But a lot of times parents don't do that, and a lot of times it's capacity. You know what I mean? If I've been working 10, 12 hours, I'm not going to back to school night or
already mad.
you know what I mean?
Right.
So a lot of times it's reactive because that's how it has to be. And I don't think that parents are intentionally doing that. I think it's capacity. I think it's resources. Being afraid to talk to the schools and the teachers. Right. It's not like malicious. I think it's just capacity.
And do you think, like, I think that sometimes these schools or the system has those meetings at times that are inconvenient for families. Absolutely. They know that parents.
Those meetings always start at 5 o'clock
or
4:30 or
6 o'clock,
where I don't even have time to get off of work. You know what I mean? And get ready to go.
And some people are just going to work at that time. Some people work the swing shift. They work the other shift where 6 o'clock is hard to be able to get there.
And that's why it was so ridiculous. Like all the barriers they tried to put in with them to tap in virtually during COVID, right? They started making other rules so that parents couldn't engage in the way that they saw fit. But I have two different things, and I agree with my sister in the chat. She said, we're asking a child to do what many adults won't even do. And I personally agree with that. We send our kids into these hostile education environments and we tell them to figure it out because they're resilient. I don't want our kids to have to be resilient. They shouldn't have to survive.
Or either you have trauma from your own K through 12 experience, and you know that your kids have to go there. So you throw it on them instead of helping them figure it out.
But we have to do better with that because they're dealing with adults in a system that wasn't built for them. And if we're going to keep them in the system,
I think too, this is why parenting classes is really good, right? Because I think sometimes people have these babies and you don't start to understand, I got to get them through school. I got to get them through teenage. And this is the stuff that comes with having a child, you know, because people don't really think about that. Like, I got to go to PTA. I got to start going to meetings. I'm going to have to, that's the things that come with having a child.
I think that the school administrators be needing more training because to me, parents are reactionary. However, I understand it to be this. This is my son right here. It's my junior, right? And I didn't put everything I could off into him. You know, he know how to play football, basketball. I know what he will do and he won't do. When you told me he spit on somebody, I knew that he did it. When you told me he punched that girl, I knew he did not do that. So when a parent shows up to school and a teacher who hasn't said anything to him at all, nice, productive, or anything, now they launching what a parent believes is attacks upon them and their child. And in this institution, they haven't heard nothing right. It'd be like me walking in this room and I heard 5 other dudes got their wallet stolen up in here. Now I'm up in here and my wallet missing. I'm going to react. I heard that's what y'all do around here. That's what's up. And for many parents, you said parenting classes, they have 2 kids, 3 kids. So this is not their first time being in it. The last teacher lied on their last kid. And yes, my kid did something, but you're aggravating the situation. You're not making it right.
Right.
And it's hard for a parent sometimes to respond nicely for something when they're getting hit with all this at once. And most parents, I ain't gonna say most parents because I don't know, but people they come to the school, it sometimes is like a church event. Not saying they dress all the way up, but I'm going to the school. I'm gonna brush my teeth. I'm gonna at least put the messy bun in. I'm coming here. Let me see what she's talking about. In half of their head, they already believe what BS is this? Is it gonna be some BS? Better not embarrass me up here.
Because schools do not reach out if your child is doing good. They only reach out if there's a problem. And so that's the problem is we got this negative connotation with the school, because the school only reach out or even maybe even talk to the child in some cases if they're doing something wrong.
After they've done something wrong.
Exactly. Like, why can't we be proactive with lifting up positive behavior or reaching out to a parent and saying, hey, your child is doing really good in my class. I just want you to know that, Tyrone is always raises his hand. You know what I mean? Like, the parents are hearing from the school when Tyrone did something instead of,
Exactly. And the school don't never say, I understand this might be some frustrating information for you, and I understand it's hard. It's like the teacher, they want to automatically argue back with you, like, nigga, I said that's what he did. Ooh, and that don't make it easy.
I don't think they use that word.
I mean, but that's how one is perceiving it. You know what I mean? I don't know how somebody perceives it, but me.
Yeah.
When somebody talking crazy to me, that's how it comes.
Yeah.
It's a system. It's just like prison. You know what I mean? If they want young people to follow the rules of this institution, and
they want the parents to follow the rules too.
Absolutely.
But nobody teaches the parents exactly what the rules are or make sure they understood them before they sign the school handbook.
No, I'm just told my kid got to go to this system. So I'm just putting them in there because this is a part of what I've been told. My grandma been told. My mama was told. And we just doing that same old thing.
And I just want to acknowledge Earl's in the chat, and he said, I know I got a big mouth.
Y'all not
bad. He was wearing them school board people out in Folsom Cordova.
100 page.
Thank you, Earl.
When I tell you he filed lawsuits with over 700 pages, that brother came. He was
weekly though. He was putting them down. Writing them up himself.
There are parents out there who know. There are parents out there who's showing up, who's advocating, who's helping their kids navigate this system as much as possible. It's not all parents. There are some great parents out there helping their babies through these systems.
And he was deemed as a problem. You're right. He was deemed as a problem.
Oh, absolutely.
To say something. He was deemed as a problem. So why does discipline escalate most after parents start asking questions?
Because I'm gonna try to step back in this conversation.
No, you was gone last week, girl. Let it out. Let it out. Come on, talk about it.
Well, I'm gonna use my daughter who's sitting right outside of the studio as a real life example. In middle school, she had a really hard time. She was at a predominantly white middle school, and she had an instance with a cheer coach who cut all the black girls off the team. And when I went to advocate for it, the cheer coach said that they had negative teacher referrals is the reason why they were cut off the team. And so as a parent, I'm like, I haven't been informed of this at all. So I need to see these negative teacher referrals, because if she got something going on and I haven't heard from the teachers, there's a problem.
Yeah.
But when it came down to it, there were no negative teacher referrals. This was a lie. So the more I kept pushing, the more the teacher got frustrated and then just eventually hung up in my face like, you can talk to the vice principal. I'm already
do that too.
Yeah,
I'm talking to you.
I'm already at the school. So the vice principal, where he at? Where the principal at? Where the area 3 superintendent at? I'm taking it to the top, and so I realized I did eventually end up getting all the black girls on the team because I advocated, and I was in meeting after meeting after meeting, and I wasn't playing no games because these black girls had got lied on. But at the end of the day, what I realized is that my daughter became now a target. And so she started having a harder time with the school in general. You know what I mean? Being the only black girl in some of her classes. And then as she learned how to advocate for herself, and she's writing emails, CCing me, CCing the principal, the teachers are now like, okay, she's a problem. You know what I mean? Like, now we got to handle her in a different way because she's going to tell on us. You know what I mean? And so it became harder for her to navigate those spaces. But it also was like, we got to stand up for what's right. You know what I mean? And when it happened, the same exact thing happened again the next year. But instead of all the black girls, it was only my daughter. And so we had to go through, and that's when I hit you, and I'm hitting all my partners okay, well, I'm about to be up at this school tomorrow. And you know what I mean? If I can't get it figured out, obviously I got to figure it out. But when the teachers and the principal know that you're going to be in their face, you're going to put it in writing, you're going to go to the school board meeting, you're going to contact the area 3 superintendent, you're going to like be on their helmets, you're going to file formal complaints.
They say you telling. That's what they say.
Exactly.
That's what
you become the
mad.
problem.
Yeah.
But all I'm doing is advocating for my child in a system that wasn't designed for them to succeed. And I'm also following all the protocols that you have outlined in that parent handbook that nobody reads, and we sign it and send it back.
Absolutely.
So, you know, I do think that there's a beautiful thing about advocating for your child, but also know that, you know, your child will become a target, and your child will have to learn how to, you know, defend themselves and advocate for themselves as they navigate these institutions when they know you're going to show up.
100%. And the parents that are watching right now, if you have any questions that you would like to put in the chat, we are always open to answering your questions. We are talking about advocacy or overreach when parents go too far. And it again reminds me of we sit in a lot of these meetings, and I've been in meetings where, you know, it was already outlined that the parent was going to be problematic. It was outlined, and they were holding on to one of those letters of civility, where if they don't like your tone that you're using, they will slap you with the restraining order, precluding you from coming up to the school to deal with them about your child. So how we advocate matters just as much as what we're advocating for.
Right.
Absolutely.
So would the same advocacy be called overreach if it came from a white or an affluent parent? Melissa, go.
Man.
No, it definitely would not, because I feel like a lot of the teachers and admin who are white would be able to see themselves in those parents. I think that's like a lot of what it comes down to. You always talk about like it's a heart issue when it comes to these people who are in positions of power who don't care about Black children. And if it was a white administrator, white teacher, or whatever, who is hearing the worries of a white parent, they can say, oh, if I have kids, I would understand because, oh, I see myself in you, and I have kids your children's age, and I would want to know what's going on. So I'm going to help you get to the bottom of this because I could see myself in you. They don't extend the same empathy to Black parents and Black families and Black children because they don't care and they don't want to. So if it was a white family or a white parent trying to get answers, they wouldn't see that as a threat, or they wouldn't see it as aggressive, or they wouldn't see it as reactive like they do when it is a Black family.
And why do you think Black families are seen as aggressive for behavior other parents are praised for? Daniel?
Because we Black. That's why.
Because we Black.
You know, they already look at us as aggressive. We're for whatever we do, how our dress is, how our talk, our walk, everything is to them aggressive. So anything that we bring to the table, bring into the fold of the school with our kids or whatever, when we come and advocate for them, we're just like we spoke. We're gonna come aggressive. We're gonna come aggressive because of what we've been through with our trauma. So we're gonna come aggressive to be able to stand up for those who cannot or have not yet because of what we endured as mothers, on what they endure as bringing this child into this world. I can't imagine having that type of embrace or love for my offspring, that they're not being treated fairly. So because they're not treated fairly, I have a resentment. When I come in with that resentment, now I want to lash out. I want to act out. But I just think, man, that we need to really be able to, in that household, be able to give our babies the insight on what they need, be able to teach them the line of communication, being able to teach them that we're behind that. In households, we're behind that. There's enough that we've looked at in classes where the middle school 7th and 8th graders can't read. So how can we expect them to really advocate for themselves when they can barely write their names on there because they're just being passed up? We have to be able to speak on it if we're aggressive or not. We have to go up in there and put our foot down and let it be known exactly what it is that we're here for. You're not going to mess over my babies.
No, and
Period.
we have to. I'm gonna pass right to you,
Go
sis.
ahead.
We have to hold our children. We have to hold ourselves accountable to a certain level of I don't know the word I'm looking for, but our children should not be able to get through every level of Grand Theft Auto and they can't read.
100%.
You know what I mean? Or they can't compose an email. It's so easy now. Like these kids know how to work these phones and technology. They can have ChatGPT write something for them, like as far as like advocating. But Black folks, we gotta start holding ourselves to a standard when it comes to like raising our children and being better parents. Like we have to be able to our children can't be rocking the flyest clothes and they can't read, or they on the game all night and they can't read, or they got the new iPhone and they can't read. If they got an iPad, you better download some reading games on the phone or the tablet. Like we gotta hold ourselves accountable. Pass it to you, sis.
I was just going to say, you know, when you start to advocate for yourself, that means you have voice. And when you start to have voice, you start to be a problem, right? Voice is a problem. And when you're advocating for yourself, that means you know the power of your voice. And if your voice get too powerful and start to infiltrate or dismantle our system, you become a problem. So that's why a parent advocating for themselves or speaking up, that you get a target on you because I'm looking at you like, you understanding the power of your voice.
Exactly.
And none of us is supposed to have a voice.
Right.
The only time you're supposed to have voice is if you're going to spill something ignorant over into your community. If you're going to keep up that. But if you have a powerful voice, my eyes is finna go on you because now I gotta dead that down. And
You're a
you
threat.
and your parent, you're a
You're
threat to me because now you know the power of your voice. And school is not to learn the power of your voice. It's for you to listen to my voice. Yeah.
Do as you told.
Exactly. Get tested.
Well, I just always find it funny. I don't mind being labeled as aggressive.
Do you feel
I mean,
do you
Huh?
feel you're
They
aggressive?
say
That's a
black
good.
women-
That's a good question,
They say
Fox.
black women are aggressive.
But do you feel you're
I don't
aggressive?
feel I am.
No.
I'm long-winded, and oftentimes I'm very impassioned about what I'm talking about. And when somebody's addressing an issue of them being wronged, and the issues that we address on school grounds clearly has a policy that we're clearly pointing out to you, says right here, page 3, which says you can't do it. How would I not be upset when the person across from me has more power than me, and you're blatantly lying in my face, and we're here about a child? And so when a parent goes to say, "Wait a minute, hold on, that is not what you told me," they continue to say, "Oh well, it wasn't me you talked to, it was Miss Wookie Whoop, and she's not here right now." But since we're here right now, it's so many webs that parents have to come through. Now that being said, the person that be a parent, they have been wronged. Now they're hearing their child has been wronged, and
That's just elevating.
that part. And then, and this is what I was leading up to about the aggression. Far too long, people have always tried to say black people are loudest. We're loud. We're this. We're that. And the other. Accept it already. We're not aggressive. We loud. we gonna get loud, and that's just our passion.
I don't even get loud.
Exactly. If we accept your parents, accept us. I mean, all we do is.
And other communities is loud too. They just say black people is loud, but other communities be loud too.
Man, this joy got to beam off you somehow.
You know what I'm saying? They mustiness be loud.
Don't start.
But why I said that, there's a lot of kind of like a lot of blocks they put up, right? And they'll describe you as aggressive. They'll say you came at them, in a specific way. I say I'm not aggressive. I'm prepared.
Right.
And when I come into a room, I've already figured out what's going on, and I only ask questions that I already know the answers to. So it's about kind of holding that line. Like I'm not here for the okie doke. I don't really sit up and play with these folks, go back and forth. But I also don't co-sign bad behavior.
You're right.
For instance, we were in a meeting and this mom was absolutely difficult. She did not believe in holding her child accountable. And because she didn't believe in holding her child accountable, her child was on the campus acting a whole fool.
See, yeah.
And it's like, okay, I understand that our children can have different diagnoses. I understand that they can have IEPs, but there is a base level
Yes.
of respect we expect our children to have.
Right.
when they go on
training
into these schools, right? So I should never hear about my kid cussing out a teacher when they first walk into the room.
absolutely not.
I should never hear about my kid laying on their back, kicking the walls because they're upset somebody said something to them.
No, absolutely not.
So I think that's when it becomes a problem, when
Right.
the parents don't hold their children accountable,
Right.
and then they want the adults to do all the changing. At some point, we have to start being real with ourselves, like Coco said. We have to start making sure that our kids are doing what they're supposed to do.
Right.
Like,
Yeah,
like they know all the latest TikTok dances. Excuse me. They know all the latest TikTok dances. They got the flyest gear. They up in there acting a whole fool, but they look good.
Exactly. And no, we have to be, our children have to go to school with the basic, the basic foundation of home training. You know what I mean? Like we have to be able to hold ourselves accountable to that.
And I think somebody said it in the comments. Many are unable to meet the demands of parenthood. And that is real. Like Fox said, just because I had one kid, that didn't send me to parenting class. I can keep on doing them same behaviors with the next kid and the next kids and the next kid because I don't know. I'm still ignorant to the demands of parenthood. And that's why I tell these young girls when they're getting ready to decide to have these babies, because I love him or I just want his baby. But are you ready for the demands of parenthood that comes with that? Are you ready to go to these schools and talk to these teachers? Are you ready to do homework? Are you ready to make sure a child knows how to read, be potty trained, have morals? That stuff comes with a lot when you don't even know it yourself.
Right.
Are you ignorant to it yourself? And then your baby daddy is too, and your mama might be too. It's generations of this ignorance that people don't know about school.
Yeah, absolutely.
And to add on to what you said, you're right about parents. They have to do better. Oftentimes I always hear parents say, "What did the school do to my child?" They like in the belief system of the school is going to correct the child. You ain't doing that. You don't have to do that at home. The school going to teach them how to read. The school about to teach them math. The school is going to teach them proper etiquette. And then they find themselves in this IEP meeting, this 504 meeting, and they're like, what did you do to him?
No.
And I'd be like, oh, there's a disconnect with the teachings of our youth.
Absolutely. I tell my friends all the time, I'm so tired of being in high school, because I'm in high school with my baby. You know what I mean? Like, we doing this together. She reading The Alchemist, I'm reading The Alchemist. She reading The Odyssey, I'm reading The Odyssey. I be calling Coco like, oh my God, this curriculum is killing me. But I know because she going through it and she's going to ask me to help her. And I got to be on my stuff. Like I'm reading it too. I'm like, why is they reading this journey of this man who can't get himself home? But I'm also understanding that I can't just be like, I don't know about the Odyssey, baby. I can't help you.
Right.
I got to read it.
You got to get in there.
I'm reading this thick old book and I'm like helping her find, you know what I mean? Like, we have The Alchemist, like, you know what I mean? Like, we have to be in it. Like, she's taking French. I'm learning French. Like, we have to be in this with our children. The demands that's a demand of parenthood. Do I want to be up at 11 p.m. like trying to get the thesis statement for the Odyssey? No.
But you decided to have
I decided to have this child and bring her into the world. And now she's at, you know what I mean? She's in this program that's demanding in this school. She has to navigate it. So we all in.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And
so
that's
parents that are listening, I hope y'all know that parenthood comes with a demand. And if you're thinking about having kids, know that there's things that's going to come along with that. It's not just about dressing them up in the flyest Jordans and the J's and stuff.
That's my little man. That's my little baby right there.
There's other things that comes with navigating parenthood.
Yeah. And high school, K through 12 is one of the hardest pieces that you're going to have to navigate as a parent. And you have to show up. You cannot just send your child to school and think that they're going to handle it all.
And they're going to teach them everything. Because like Fox said, they're not going to teach them everything they know. Y'all got to do it side by side together.
Yep. And our children have to show up with some home training and act like that they got some sense.
What do be the mentality of the outfit? I've never actually understood that. I understood as a kid wanting some nice stuff, but I never understood the mentality of the parent.
Well, you know,
who chose shoes over
It's like keeping up with the
it just comes
Joneses.
with
They
popular
didn't have
culture.
nothing.
I think it just
Yeah.
comes with popular culture right now.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? My kid got to be fly. I want to do the birthday on a social media, you know, wearing the J's, or he got to match his daddy swag.
Because I didn't
You know
have
what
it.
I'm saying?
Exactly.
I
I'm
got
living
it, right?
vicariously
Yeah,
through
I
my
didn't have it.
child.
So I'm
I
finna
didn't
buy
have
all
no
the
Jordans,
Right.
so they gonna have them
Yeah,
all.
I
Right.
finna have them all.
But so many of the kids that we show up for, remember we was in that class teaching the kids how to read?
Mhm.
The teacher wouldn't even teach them how to read.
Not one bit.
The teacher wouldn't even teach them how to read in their class. But so many of the youth, how do you explain when you have a 14-year-old, 15-year-old, 16-year-old, 17-year-old living in your home, and every other word is ignorant. They can't read.
Can the mama read?
That's the thing,
No.
right?
Mhm.
That's
Where do we draw the line of making our people ask for help?
And see that, but you know, we are a people that is hard to ask for help.
Mhm, mhm.
We are a people. You will be sitting in your house,
I'm one.
no lights on, no, you know what I'm saying?
No more Top
Even me
Ramen.
myself, I had to reach out to one of our community partners, and I was sitting there like, should I call her? Should I call her? When I called, she like, oh sis, it's nothing. But that's hard for us as a people, and it has been generations of people that can't read.
right.
Grandma can't read, mama can't read, now the
Right.
kids can't read. You know what I'm saying?
But my humbleness stops me.
But we
from that,
we
though.
do have to ask that, Fox. We do have to start asking those type of things. We do have to say, this is something I want to break. Some people say generational curses. I like to say generational behaviors.
Or
Mhm.
patterns.
It's that we
Mhm.
keep
We
on
not
passing
cursed.
down. And you got to
Not a
say, you
cursed
know
people.
what? I'm going to reach out and go to these centers and ask somebody to help me and my child read, because I got to get through the embarrassing. And you said something earlier, like, what did the school do to them? That's the trauma coming, because what did school do to me?
Yeah.
So I'm instantly gonna be like, what these schools did to my
Right.
kid.
Right.
But you gotta hold yourself accountable. You gotta ask for these tools and these things to navigate, because these are systems we have to navigate.
Yeah, I just wish they would just do some self-reflecting better than that, because that part I'm hard on it. I don't want to ask certain people for help, and I don't mean that racially.
Yeah. It's just something.
But what I will do, I'll ask 1,000,000 people for help for you,
Yeah.
from my brother. So how would one not ask for their own child? You come collect food stamps,
Yeah.
the food banks, all this stuff. But what the child needs, whether he's a young man or older, what they need,
Boy,
to be in their brain for them to succeed moving forward. You don't want to get none of that for them.
Yeah. So that's
But
why
maybe
we
they
are
don't know
here
the
to
questions to ask.
Yeah.
To get that information, right? To get that from whomever. We don't.
It's true.
We might not know the questions to ask. It's simple to say it right here, right now. But again, we've got these kids that are growing up that are parents that don't know how to parent,
Mhm.
right? Administrations that don't know how to give what they need to these kids. So yeah, we may not. The parents may not know how to actually ask for the help, whether it's the pride or not. Where do I go? Where do I get a parenting
Mhm.
class that I can be off work at, or be there to be there reading
Right.
Odyssey with my kid? That's rare,
Mhm.
right? That's rare in itself right there. Just a parent being able to have that time to sit back and read and dialogue with that child.
Mhm.
And that's one child, right? We're talking about 2, 3, maybe 4
Right.
that are in a household that, man, get your little ass over there, go sit down. You go
Mhm.
over here, go feed the dog. You come, go get the
Yeah.
garbage, and
Yeah.
Mhm.
That
not
part missing.
having, huh?
That part missing.
Yes,
That part, there's so many. You know how many mothers have came to our program with their boy, and their boy never even got out the car, and the mother went for that. She's like, I got him in the car. Could you come talk to him? Come get him out. He's right there. Tell him to get out the car. Oh, we do house calls. I don't even want to say
it's
the worst one.
it's the friendship, not
Yeah.
the not
Not
the
a mother.
momship,
Yeah. Not
the
a
parent,
mothership.
not
A
the parenting.
parentship. A friendship.
That's the thing. I want my little boy to be, or my little girl to be out here in the flyest little thing. But you're sitting in the car and you're knocking with me. You're listening to the same shake your ass and all that other
Yeah.
stuff. This is being carried on. We're not giving them everything
Yeah.
because we don't know it, right?
And if you
we're not knowing
didn't check those behaviors when they was 1 and 2, ain't no way you gonna check them when they 13, 14.
Right.
Now he's bigger than me. He done got muscles. You know what I'm saying? My daughter done got a little.
Right.
So I be telling, I like my brother and them. I be like, do it now while they 1 and 2. Let them know who the boss
Yep.
now, because you ain't gonna let them do it when they
Yep.
13 and 14.
Can I ask a question? The whole time I've been out here, I've been hearing so much talk about hey man, this school system ain't for us. We need our own system. Where are we within our own school systems? Does anybody know, or has anybody made any headway of it?
Well, in Oakland, Roses from the Concrete by JDA Jeff
Duncan Andrade.
Yeah, he had a school that was in Oakland that was ran. There has been schools out here where Black people have to set up and run.
I mean, there's black
There-
school systems
Yeah.
out here in this city that we're in. There's multiple.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
We know that.
Why they not being promoted?
We know that. You know, the other thing about the Black community is it's very complicated, right? There's layers and layers and layers of
Complication.
Room
you
for
know,
improvement.
mistrust. And we also, one of the things that really frustrates me is Black folks is we try so hard to be our oppressor. Like we want to emulate the same type of school systems that they have.
Yeah.
And it has been proven that those type of schools don't work for us. But when we go to like set up these things, we like emulate what the oppressor has already done to us instead of like making our own schools, you know, and doing the things that work best for our children. It's not the best model for our children to sit in their seats for 8 hours a day. That's not the best model.
No, and they call that ADHD.
Black children
When they can't sit down.
have energy.
sit down with them.
They're creative. They want to work with their hands. They're athletic.
They need music.
They need art. They need music. They need stimulation. That's not the best model for our children, but we keep replicating that model and think that that is what is going to free our children, and that's not it. Oh, sorry.
Well, I mean, but can we keep it a buck? We see a Black face and think they actually run in the school because their face is on it.
And that's
when they're still
That too.
carrying, like you said, the same policies, doing the same thing that everybody else is doing, but they stuck their Black face on it and they become the face of it, but their policies are anti-Black, and they're also very, very discriminatory in the way in which they dole out their curriculum. So I don't care if you have a Black face and you do in a school. If you're number 4 in the state for disproportionate discipline of non-traditional schools, we have a problem. Period. That's just what it is.
We do. And we have to look at models like Ile Omade in Oakland that is centered in like African studies and allows our children to, do art, do dancing, do poetry, do music, learn how to garden, learn how to cook, learn how to sew, learn how to I took home economics when I was in middle school and learned how to bake. And, you know what I mean?
No, they don't have those.
I haven't seen those classes in so
I've seen 'em.
long.
Well, it's called culinary now.
And not all schools have
yeah,
that.
I think
You know
I-
what I
I-
mean?
They got all of them inside the
only
prison.
one, right?
I think San Juan
Yeah,
High
they
School might
do.
have a
Only
program,
one.
but that
Oak Grove
was
has a
that was
couple.
that was mandatory for us. Wood shop,
Yeah.
like learning how
Oh,
to,
they
you
got
know,
all
you
of
read-
them
were in the prison.
When we was in school too, it was about going into trades and things too, though. Coming out of school, going into trades, going in. A lot of that has stopped. It's either you're going into higher education or you're going into my prison. You know what I'm saying?
Either one.
They don't prepare us to go into trades and different things like that. And when we had home economics, driver's ed, those type of things, they was preparing us more, our generation, to be able to go into trades coming out of
Yeah,
school.
you could get your driver's license at school. Like, I don't see any of that. And, I want to just circle back to one of the points, when a parent is very active and is disrupting the traditional model of schooling, we're also disrupting the school to prison pipeline, and we have to we have to make sure that we're understanding that
We stopping money.
Schools are not for educating; they're for schooling. You want people to follow the rules, and we know the data. Like, if you can't read by the 4th grade, then they already building a third grade,
Yeah.
then they building a prison bed for you, right? So we have to understand that the schools are being designed to funnel our children to prison. And when we're disrupting that, we're disrupting the status quo of, the school to prison pipeline. And speaking up is dismantling that. And they don't want us to do that.
Melissa, do schools fear advocacy because it exposes systems they can't defend?
Yes, absolutely. Not only the system, but it exposes themselves being compliant with the system. They aren't speaking up against the system that is the issue. It exposed parents advocating for their children, advocating for their families against the things that are hurting them will expose the system, and also exposes those people who are in power. It exposes those administrators who are clearly not doing their jobs. It exposes them and would require them to be held accountable, but only be held accountable if everybody else was doing their jobs, which clearly they're not.
Why is adult discomfort treated as more urgent than student trauma? Coco?
Adult discomfort treated as more urgent
than student trauma.
You mean in the teachers or the parents? Or just all together?
Both. However that question landed.
I think for the parents, when it's discomfort because now you interrupting my system. I need to make sure that you're not interrupting my system more than I care about your baby's trauma. Your baby's trauma is what I need them to be. I need them to be in trauma. I need them to do these things. But I think your discomfort is disrupting my system.
Daniel?
That was a lot. You're going to have to give me that one more time.
Why is adult discomfort treated as more urgent than student trauma?
Because they don't understand the childhood trauma. It's just deal with the parent, deal with the parents, send the kid home, and that's it. There's nothing else.
But does that deal with it?
Nope, it does not.
What happens when we continually discipline students for conduct they may not even understand?
Prison.
Oh.
They just mark it down, just marking it down, writing it down, creating that paper trail to go to prison. That's it.
And if I'm constantly breaking you down as a kid, then you're gonna be a broken adult. So I just feel like if I constantly beat you down now, then I don't got to worry about you by the time you get an adult, because you're going to have to learn how to get past all these, if you did have a powerful voice, now you're going to be silenced. And that takes a lot of work to hear when you have been silenced by so many people. So let me start silencing you and breaking you down and doing that now, because then I can already have that in you before you even get an adult.
And can we recognize that Sacramento is #1 for suspensions of Black boys in this state? And that is a direct, it's the school to prison pipeline, like in full effect. Like, because if I could keep suspending you from school, then what are you going to learn?
You're going to go out in the street and you're going to go do what you want to do, and then you're going to end up hurting somebody, or you're going to go to where we want you to go anyway.
And you got to be aware of, this is why they say pay attention to the world around you. I live in California. California is a prison state. These prisons got to be filled up. Who they're going to be filled up? Black and brown boys. We just let out a bunch of men that did 20, 30 years. We let y'all out to figure out, but now we about to fill them up with y'all sons.
That was the reason why they let us out.
Because they finna fill them up with y'all sons.
And we
that's how they make room.
Yeah, and y'all, we didn't already think we broke y'all for 20 years.
But
y'all not going to
cost too much. Medication.
Yeah, Medicaid, y'all getting old.
We getting old.
Healthcare.
And now we need to fill. We
Not
need
just
room.
that, though.
We need room for y'all sons.
Mm-hmm.
Don't forget what they did. They let us all out through the back door. All of us that they was letting out, we all minors. We all been in prison, 14, 15, 16 years old. And y'all threw away the key. We all been in prison at one time.
And so now it's going to be hard for you to reacclimate to the system. Everybody don't have.
Still reacclimating to a
But
system.
what I'm saying is even Fox, you have a community around you.
Mm-hmm.
There's not even guys like you that have a community, somebody that's going to help you get a bank account, do this, do that, help you figure it out, help you acclimate. You know what I'm saying? Some guys is coming out to nothing.
Nothing.
And what is the recidivism rate for them?
Care.
Or are they going?
I already know.
Exactly.
Because I've been in a halfway house.
Yeah.
They be up in there. Anyway.
So we in California, and we got to know that our sons are the targets, because they got to get ready to fill up these prisons.
Absolutely.
And I don't think that, what'd you call it? Adult discomfort. It's not adult discomfort. It's the fact that the very nature of everything I'm speaking of means you have no integrity. So that's what makes them uncomfortable. They come in there and they be lying, and you call them on it, and then you recite systems to them. You recite their own stuff. They don't be trying to protect the system. They are a very selfish people. They just be trying to protect themselves, and they'll lie all the way through it like this. And they're very entitled. It's like, how dare this child raise her voice at me when I just got my hair done. You know, I'm just having a hard day today. You know, they don't even know their job. So the fact that we be there advocating means that your certificate don't mean nothing.
Don't mean nothing.
It don't mean nothing. And the fact that I'm not backing down off what I'm saying, because I know what I'm saying is the truth, and you can't find no way around getting the truth that I'm saying. As you said, the child comes to, I'll get rid of this parent by getting rid of this child.
I just think like we have to do a better job of being informed. We have to do a better job of tapping in and being an active participant in our children's education, because I look at families and of course I always have to rely on experiences. I have this one young lady, little girl over at the junior high school. She keeps getting suspended. The parents keep making excuses for her. Now she's up for expulsion in a couple days. And it's like, oh, can you help me? Well, I've tried to provide many interventions up to this point. I got the girl off of expulsion before because I told them that we would embrace her in our program and we would, make sure she had certain access to certain things. She never showed up to one program one day at all. But now you want me to come and rescue your baby who keeps behaving badly. We have to take some sort of responsibility in that. Our kids are not always right? But these adults are not always handling them appropriately either. And you can call out a behavior without being punitive and dismissive of a parent's concern. And I think that's where advocacy comes in. But when you start to overreach, you start responding in a way that's highly detrimental that could get you put off of a campus because your child is acting just like you.
And I think in our advocacy that we always be looking for a solution, always looking to correct something, versus the people we talking to, they ready to be done with the situation. They're like, no, he threw the pencil, so he got to go to jail. They just want to be away with our children. So when we come in there, our advocacy 9 times out of 10 means this kid is still going to be here. Let's work with him. Let's walk him through the situation. Why don't you be a little bit more humane? And they don't like that.
And also I've seen Black parents in particular advocate the wrong way, where I ain't never seen you at back to school night. I ain't never seen you at no events up here, but your child done got into some drama and now you up at the school acting a fool in the office, tearing it up, and now they calling the police on you. And you
can we talk about the parents that are going to campus and fighting kids?
Exactly. You done got up here in 45 seconds flat. How did you get to the school so fast when it's some drama, but when it's time to really come to an event or meet a teacher or show up to something positive, we don't see you. But we see you when it's some drama, and you up here fighting students. You up here acting
going in the classrooms, snatching up.
You coming into the classroom.
Some parents are, and I'm gonna use myself as an example.
Melissa, what's wrong?
Sometimes people don't even know to not fight. I thought the answer to every one of my problems was right here. And if you don't want this one, I got this one. And that's I solved it. Come to find out, that's not how you solve all your problems. You know what I mean? And it took me a long time, all the way off into my 30s, to figure that out. Because I ain't gonna make no excuse for it. That's just what I thought, and that's what I stood on, and I wasn't willing to know nothing else. But I have another question. When did the generation of parents not letting their kids do what they want to do happen? I mean, that'd be like, he doesn't want to play basketball. He doesn't want to go play soccer. She don't want to go and you just let him sit. And I remember when I was a kid, I didn't have no choice of whether or not I wanted to go outside or not. That's outside.
Well, the millennial generation, we don't parent like our parents. We have got relaxed a lot. We're helicopter parents, and there are some old morals I think maybe we was traumatized from that we did not pass.
Y'all, we love y'all.
Yeah, we did not pass down. But Fox, you right. We do need to get back to those type of standards and those morals of parenting our kids. But we are living in times where they're not parenting. We let kids do what they want to do.
And we got to stop that because
Gotta
Yeah,
stop it.
we
We
do.
have to stop
If
it.
we want
I
our
always
children
tell them
to-
children, I'm like, I know your parent didn't send you up here to show your entire behind. I know that that's not what happened. There
Right.
used to be a village response,
Yes,
right?
yes.
We had
And now-
expectations for our children and how, you know, they conducted themselves
and
in
now
the
we
classroom.
don't.
And we don't have that. We on our kids' side, even if they wrong, we on our
Yeah.
kids' side.
I mean, even if they're wrong, we not telling them to go out the rooms no more. When we talking, they sitting at the tables with us when we turned
They
up.
got nerve to have opinions.
Yeah, they on the business. You know, my mom said all the time, she was like, y'all let these kids run crazy around here, you know. So I think that our parenting style is way more lax than our parents and our grandparents' parenting style is.
I don't know what happened. But again, we have parents behaving badly. They're going on the campuses, pulling kids out of classrooms, showing up in the parking lot, having full-on brawls, adult people.
Yeah.
And
like
it's
you said,
happened at the
trying to
junior
fight
high school
through it.
level out here. It's happened at the high school level out here. It spans the school districts. At some point, we have to take up the mantle and start to be the adults we're supposed to be and not get into kind of some of this foolishness that we're seeing. And we have to be proactive in our responses. That means don't go in there talking about whatever you're talking about if it don't have nothing to do with the conduct and the policies that they say your child is violating.
Absolutely.
We can't continue to do this stuff and blame their reaction or them using the power of the pen or all these tools that they have in their possession when we didn't do what we were supposed to do.
Right.
Exactly. And don't go up to the school acting a fool and then think that the school is going to treat your child in a humane way.
Yeah.
They are going to target your child and they are going to give your child a harder time. So be cognizant of how you go up to these schools.
Or you and your child will go to jail.
Exactly. Like, I don't understand why people don't. There's police on these school campuses, y'all. Like, you will go to jail if you go up there acting a mess.
And you just can't navigate life like that. I'm a turn up and you can't navigate any system like that. That's not the way to navigate it. The way to navigate it is to educate yourself, learn, and come in, like Miss Lorene said, knowing the answers before you even ask them, being correct as possible. And so I think that we just have to learn. You cannot go through life advocating with ignorance or meeting people with the fist, like Fox said. But he had to learn that, like you said. And some people don't want to do that work. That all comes with healing, the healing work. And you have to do that work.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And I think regardless of if you come in with the fist or if you come in like me, you still going to be looked at as the problem.
Yeah.
Understand that. I don't care about being your problem. Am I right or no?
Right.
If I'm ever lying or if I'm ever doing anything and I'm not telling the accurate truth about something, then I'll let them stop me. But if I'm doing what I'm supposed to do as an advocate and I know what you're supposed to do,
we got to do that. We have to cause good trouble at the end of the day. Because like you said, you're going to treat me. Whether you go up there acting a fool or you go up there with their policies and have your language laid out.
You're still a problem.
Exactly.
And I'm
because
good with
you're Black in America and you're a problem.
I like being a problem.
The chat is active today. They are talking some truth in that chat.
Yeah, and I believe, and I agree with Fundisha. She said, truth is, even if we did everything right as parents, as students, that system will still fail us. It's by design.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes,
but
by design.
We're not taking our kids out en masse, so we have to engage the system.
Right.
Yes, we have to learn how to infiltrate the system because we do not, unfortunately, have systems of our own. So you either going to infiltrate or assimilate. It's one or the other, and you got to figure out how to do it.
And there's a right and a wrong way to do that.
Absolutely.
There's a right and a wrong way to love somebody.
So before we get out of here, I just want to make sure everybody knows that March 20th and 21st, we will be hosting our legislative open house at the state capitol. Please register your young people. And like I said, we're going to get as involved in some capacity. I haven't been able to sit down and write that out, but hopefully we'll get that done. So if you have not registered your young people, you can go to our website, www.bylp.org, and sign your young people up today. Additionally, we are starting a food program at Black Youth Leadership Project. We cannot ask how much you make. We just need to know if you need food. So go ahead and sign up for that program. The more participation we have, the more we can kind of reserve the resources we need to make sure everybody is full and happy. So I think that's it, yo. My head is so foggy, I can't even remember.
It says we're doing a Say Something open mic next week on February the 2nd at the center. Please go to our website, says.ucdavis.edu, or either our IG, Says for Life. It'll be more information, but it'll be a youth open mic at the center, February the 2nd. Say something.
Melissa was like, wait a minute. Hold on, let me check that date. Any other announcements, ladies? If not, we are going to continue this conversation next week when advocacy gets you labeled that parent. We know what it is. I was that parent, and my stepdaughter at the time, she was like, I'm not calling her because she gonna come up here and she gonna read them the Riot Act. So I don't bring her up there. As a matter of fact, I think I am now labeled that advocate because I send an email and they fix it before I come through the door. So I don't know. I look forward to hearing from y'all next week about that. And hopefully I'll be back in the studio and we'll have us a funky good time. So with that, we're going to hit y'all with the peace sign. We're going to get out of here. We'll see y'all next week.
That was a good conversation.
Another good conversation.